So influencers do Spectrum game for Jubilee.
I portray a life I don't actually live.
Somewhat true. Who my man right here though? What he be doing? Hold on, let me see son. Which one is this? Okay, I know Gabby. Who's this nigga?
Well, I post about myself and my life every day, so I'm posting exactly what's going on in my life. Okay, like I need some money, somebody to help me with my kid. Can I have a man? I need a man. Okay, make sure you don't edit that part out.
No, same. My stuff is very authentic and vulnerable to my real life, and I wouldn't be an influencer, have a platform, or even make content if I wasn't just portraying my everyday life.
Yeah, I literally just vlog what I do every day, and I tell stories of things that actually happened, so I feel like it's pretty accurate to how I live my life.
Yeah, I guess our lives are interesting enough that people want to watch it.
Yeah.
True.
Well, on the other end of the spectrum, I do not, because I created a character for my content. That was a really important thing for me once I was trying to start this content creation journey, was I wanted a wall, a barrier to say in between my real life and the audience, because honestly, like I enjoyed not being able, not posting in a while, but nobody worrying about where I'm at, who I'm with.
That's interesting because, yeah, I feel like sometimes I have no boundary in between like my actual life and my job. It's so meshed together. Everything that I do, it's in the back of my head, this would be a good video, and I almost always act on it and I end up filming it. I used to be much better at keeping those things separate, but now because they're so intertwined, it's very hard for me to not jump at an opportunity to make a good video when I'm doing something interesting or fun. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna work on that because it is
Your job.
I'm not in a good place with it. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but the thing that I struggle with the most with filming constantly is I'm just always in my own head. Like, what am I gonna say next in the video? Instead of being present and talking to the people that I'm with.
That's why I stood at disagree instead of strongly disagree, because there is always that little voice in the back of your mind. Keep people engaged all the way through, and there's things that I have to do that would be authentic to my life that's just simply not good content. So I'm gonna not film myself doing those things. So accidentally, the life I'm portraying might not be as authentic as it feels to me, even though to me it does feel authentic, but I'm like doing my computer work at midnight when I can't film. Yeah.
It's like a little bit more polished, but it's still real. It's still you, but it's more like
Through
shiny.
a filter.
Yeah, it's filtered.
See, in my YouTube days, I think the only thing I really had going for me, I used to do like story time videos. I was called The Gabby Show if you were on like Vine or like
That's
early.
where I know you from.
There we go.
Oh.
Like early YouTube. So the thing that I really had going for me was just that I wasn't polishing anything. Like pimple on the face, like greasy skin, like really truly messy space, and also mental health. Like I feel like a lot of my traction was because I was one of the earlier creators to really show like depression, anxiety. And I think it did some good, but I think that like coming online and doing story times or like getting emotional and like crying because like, wow, this is like actually hurting me, but also the views of this, like the blur of authenticity and just completely exploiting yourself was like treacherous.
You wanted to nip it in the bud. You wanted to have kind of like this separate entity. Like you're running the account, but you have a character that you've kind of built.
Hannah Montana said it best. You get the best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
But
True.
do you guys, because like on my end, doing that, it has been a double-edged sword, especially nowadays when me and my team are like trying our damnedest to get out of this because we need to push this a little bit more. And we're revisiting, kind of like I'm restarting in a way. I'm doing all the things that I used to do in a costume, but now as myself.
Oh, it's this nigga.
To think of concepts that don't revolve around myself and to where you can have like consistency, that you're not sharing everything going on in your life. And like, just as a personal example, I had a very treacherous few years and my channel did really well during that time, but I knew that I was going to be entering a more steady season of life. And with that comes decline. And so part of me is like, oh no, like here I am having a healthy life, healthy relationship, all these things, but I know it's gonna be so bad for business. And I wish I had something that was detached from me. I do YouTube vlogs. I do 3 a week, and I have for like 10 years now. And I'm in a contract where I have to continue doing 3 a week. So in some ways it feels a little sticky and a little stuck. But I went through a phase in my early 20s where I was married and went through like a very messy divorce and just shared all of that in live time as I was learning things, which is great television and terrible for your mental health. So yeah, now I am remarried and steady and in a healthy relationship and love that for me, but don't love that for numbers.
People love a hot mess.
They do, they really do. In a lot of ways, I'm really thankful that I kind of just laid it all out
I don't know
there.
if that's what I mean, sure they do, I guess, but like, I think there's a lot of channels out there, like couple channels who are thriving, that seem to be healthy. Maybe not a lot, but a few that come to mind, like Josh and Sav. They seem to be pretty healthy, and a couple more that I can think of, maybe. But I think that's just what you introduce to them. So because you introduce that to them, and then that's not the case anymore, it's like, oh, this is not what I came for.
In a lot of ways, I'm really thankful that I kind of just laid it all out there on the line and shared it all. Also, I do think oversharing that, in a sense, removed all of the shame of it for me, because it felt like I was owning my own story and I was the one putting it out. And I know I can be really hard on myself when it comes to critiques and negativity, but I never feel embarrassed. I think who I present on social media is pretty accurate to how I actually live. How I think and how I speak and how I see the world is accurately represented. I think from the outside in, I'm the same, but from the inside out, I am more just internally calm without the social media commentary that I have in my brain going all the time of like, how am I phrasing this? How could it be misconstrued? Do I need to choose different words? I just am always kind of self-editing in my brain with that social media persona in mind.
And even with, what character did you say, Hannah Montana? That ended. I mean, eventually you just can't pretend for so long. We know who you are.
Exactly. It's like, once I started getting more into these spaces as myself, I didn't feel respected. Honestly, I didn't feel respected, from the work that I've already put in, only because I have done that work in a costume. You almost start feeling like you don't know yourself.
Exactly. Almost like you have to get a new audience almost, because they have to get to know you. Because some people stay stuck. This is what you are. This is what I like. I need you to keep on the dress or whatever and stay that.
Absolutely. I get it all the time. I post something without a wig and the comments are like, it's either I didn't recognize you or who is this? The character can't live unless the Nick is the same exact type of person. So like, as long as Nick is happy, the character can live. And this Nick is constantly happy now, to where I thought that happiness would create more for the character, but that happiness actually created more for myself to actually step away from that character. I thought the character was my happiness, but she really wasn't. She was there for the time being, but the more confidence and the more happiness that I started to gain through her, I started to want to utilize.
I guess what, like, my thought is, what's the goal? Because is the goal like I always thought the goal was like, okay, this is a passion that I love to do, and in return it pays me well, so it's like about money. But if we can leverage the money properly, then it doesn't really matter as much about the numbers. That's what I would think, right? If you go a year, you make $60,000 a month, right? You say, okay, $60,000 a month, how much do I need to live? Let's just say $10,000, right? Okay, so now you're working with 50. Okay, where's the government's cut out of that 60? The government get what, 40% of that 60? Maybe 50 because of the tax bracket. Okay, 50%. Okay, so now you got 30 minus the 10 to live. Okay, now you got 20 to play with. Okay, what can we do with this money? First month, you can max out a Roth IRA immediately. So boom, you just put 7,000 away, high interest. Okay, cool. Now what? Okay, properties. Okay, stocks or whatever, or just investing in business, something. Like if you're just making all that type of money, and then once that other income is sustaining you, then the numbers don't really matter as much, unless the numbers are attached to the self-esteem, right? Because then it's like, it don't matter how much money you make, I need that to sustain my self-esteem. And if that's the case, it's a whole different ballgame. So that's what I'm saying. What is the goal? Is the goal to leverage this gift or this opportunity into financial freedom? Or is this, just what you love to do? Because if it's just what you love to do, the numbers don't really matter. You can get 1 or 2 views. If you love doing it, I guess that should be all that matters. If it's about self-esteem, okay, then I guess you got to keep on, and that's our own separate problem. We got to remove you from the self-esteem of the numbers.
Who do I think I am at this point in my life without the green lipstick? Nobody. Nobody. Nobody without the green lipstick. I really wish that I had...
Who are you to the world, or who are you to yourself? And I guess I don't know. Like, I don't know how it would really be, because it's like, I could only I don't, like, again, the biggest video I have is about 100,000. It might be close to 150,000 views by now, where their peaks are millions, like multiple millions regularly. Like, after that 100K, the best I have is about 30, and then after that it's like tens, and then like I got a good amount of like 4-digit videos in terms of the views, but like peak like seven figure views. So it's just like, is that different? Like, obviously it's different, but is it like, because sometimes it's the same but on a larger scale, but sometimes because the scale is larger, it's a whole nother ball game. Like, it might be one of those things where it's just like, here is totally different than here, where in other cases, like, here is the same but it's just elevated. So it's like, what happened that you feel like, to the world you're nothing without the green lipstick, or to yourself, or because the world sees you as nothing, you also see yourself as nothing?
I really wish that I had another channel or another outlet where I could be myself without it. Without the green lipstick, not as funny, not as known, not the person who's the voice of a troll on the series, not a person that interviewed the president, not that person. You were like, who are you without the green lipstick? Well, I would love to find out. I'm not there yet. I feel like I'm not seen without the green lipstick. I'm in a beautiful jail. It's nice here. It's great. However, I want to get out, and I don't know how to do that, or if I ever will. And boo-hoo to, it's like those first world problems, but it's still a problem.
I think people, similarly to you, I don't really have a character. It is just me, but my videos are definitely, I'm high energy, I'm excited, I'm kind of like squawking at the camera. But I think when you kind of memify yourself over time, like you said, people expect this, like, they think you wake up and a switch flips and you're like, yeah, well, not really what just happened. Like, but that's not your life all the time. Like, I would say 90% of the time I'm a very calm person, but sometimes I'm not. And sometimes there is a crazy story or a funny joke that I think of that I have to tell on TikTok or on Instagram, but people kind of expect this like wind up toy when they meet you. And you can't always perform to their level.
And you can't change. When you're an actor and you're on a movie, you could be a Marvel character here, and then next time you're a doctor, and the next time you're a teacher, and the next time you're dying of this. But us, we are it.
And then once things happened where it was like, oh, she's canceled, or cancel her, or whatever it was like, okay, but nobody's ever truly canceled until they give up. So then it became this thing where it's like, well, I'm not gonna let people win.
That was deep, honey.
Anybody who's engaging in cancel culture because they believe that it's helpful is wrong, because nobody's ever changed because they were hated. People have changed because they're shown love and empathy and compassion. But at the end of the day, everybody deserves forgiveness and grace, because we're all given forgiveness and grace, and you have to give what you want to receive. It's
No one ever changed, because I don't think the goal is for the people to change, though. Like, if that were the goal, then I think what you're saying is accurate. But I think the goal is like, oh, like, let's not support this person because they are this way. That's what canceling is. Like, we're not canceling, like, people weren't canceling Chick-fil-A because, like, no, if we cancel Chick-fil-A, they're going to come to their senses and they're going to change. It's like, nah, we don't fuck with you, like, you know what I mean? That's the idea. Like, niggas is obviously still going to Chick-fil-A. But that's the idea. Like, we don't fuck with you no more, So we canceling you. We're not giving you none of our money. We're not giving you none of our time. We're not giving you none of our resources, attention. We're not giving you shit. We done with you. Oh, that's how you feel? Kiss my ass.
It's one of those things where it's like I have to be careful how far I talk because it's easy to tailspin, right?
Type shit.
But I guess the summary from my perspective is just like people realized that they could continue to say things that weren't true, and it just like spiraled out of control. Sorry.
Really?
I cried in the car before this because I was like, let me just get it out there, but it sucks because if you like say that, people are like, oh, you can't take accountability, but it's like, no, you're asking me to apologize for something that's not real. So that's why I stepped back, because it was just like, I accept where God is like moving me.
Where's the thank you Ray J moment, bro? I need a thank you Ray J moment right here, bro.
So like, if you would have asked me like,
I just feel like, I don't know, like as a creator, like the moment's just right there. Like from, in my opinion, like, you know what I mean? It's just right there, but I don't know. Maybe my brain just fried.
a month ago,
Or maybe not as
like,
a
do you
creator,
think
but
cancel
somebody who's
culture works? I've been
consumes.
like, honestly, yeah, because like it changed my life. Like that was how I found true peace, like comfort, slow mornings, like enjoying the success that I already acquired, that I'm now just at this point trying to like redeem a reputation that nobody cares about. And that's ultimately what like I really came to, is like, who cares about me? And I mean that in like
The best way.
most self-loving way.
Best way.
This isn't worth fighting for. Like, okay,
Who
so
cares? Literally. That's facts.
people online don't like me. That's okay. Like I have like my family, my husband, like my community.
Gabby married? That nigga not going on the IG, right? Is there a chance that nigga on the IG though? Like, is there?
I guess sharing my vulnerability stopped feeling like a release and more like a burden whenever I was no longer being celebrated for sharing. Because there was a lot of time where it's like, yay, like vulnerable, like so honest, like we need this. And I think that is true. But then when it's like, hey, like I'm getting like very publicly mocked for like my mental health, and like now it's like this thing that made me sort of like relatable and real is now the thing where it's like, she's psychotic, she's manic, she's evil, she's a narcissist, she's a manipulative, like horrible person, she deserves to die, literally. Like
Literally.
cancel her, like literally put an end to her.
I relate to that last thing you said like so much. Like I feel like I got canceled so many times, and the thing that comforts me the most is like my friends love me, my family loves me, and they know who I am. Like why do I care? Like what all of these like losers are saying about me that don't know me, like it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of like my personal life. So that really helps me a lot. But I feel like I got canceled like so many times in such a short period that I somewhat don't fear it as much anymore, because I feel like I got it over with, like all of the craziness. One of my scandals was that I literally, people thought that I had sex with my pet bird. Like I'm not kidding. And
Did you say
people, like,
bird?
people genuinely believed this, and
Were you
that is
pretending to?
no.
Was the
There was
bird
no
close
like,
to
there was
you?
no like suggestion of that.
No,
Even the bird wing was like.
No, so I made a TikTok once, and I was just like, oh my God, like I just found out that if you like pet, because I have a pet bird, if you pet his back, like it can turn them on. And I made this video about it, and people ran, and that is to this day like my biggest scandal, and it's so like crazy, but like people have
Because
taken
like it's bestiality, it's like she's a pervert.
But did they keep it up?
craziness. Oh, it's still to this day. Yeah.
Yo, bro, these are the real questions. Like, did you keep doing it though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's dive into that. Let's dive into that. You know what I mean?
Bestiality, it's like she's a pervert.
But did they keep it up?
Craziness. Oh, it's still to this day. Yeah. But I feel like that was the biggest one, and there was like a little ones around it, but it got so dark for me too. I literally had to delete the app for like 8 months. I focused on YouTube.
I've exploited my personal life for content.
I mean, I feel like my whole platform was literally just that. Like it was the Gabby show. Like it was literally
So you have exploited, right?
my content outside of Vine, because Vine was just like very short little catchy things. And then as soon as it was to go over to YouTube, so it was just like, okay, well, let me do a Q&A. And then from there, it was like, people recognized my face from Vine. So then like YouTube just grew so quickly that I was like, oh, this is what I do. So then I'd be like at Playlist Live or VidCon and be like telling stories. And then there'd be these like major creators who were like, you should tell that online. And there was like this like little kind of gut thing in me. I was like, no, I feel like that would be, you know, too much, whether it's about me or another person. And then it just got to a point where it's like, you kind of bend what you're willing to do a little more and a little more and a little more. And before you know it, you're just like bearing everything. And then it got to a point with me where like I've never been afraid to be emotional on camera. Like I would cry, like if I would rant, if I was like going through something, I would share it, like really like emotional, like trauma dumping type things because it was getting a lot of views. And at the time it was kind of, well, you know, at the beginning-ish of mental health. So the more you talked about it, you were like applauded for that. Like it was like, oh my gosh, you're so brave. Like you're helping destigmatize mental health. In exploiting your own vulnerability, you're ultimately in a way exploiting the audience's vulnerability. But then they expect what they paid for, what they're asking for. It's like, give us everything, like dance. And yeah, I feel like I went to a pretty far extreme with it. Like I think that I've probably shown more like mental health breakdowns than most people can like really relate with. And I wanted to. Like I wanted people to understand that this actually was having an impact, and I didn't want to let it stop me. The first time I ever sat down on a camera and I was like crying, I was like, this is obviously totally unnatural. I remember like editing some of those earlier videos. I'm like, wow, this is like really intense and like real and raw, but there was something that I did like about it, that it was just kind of like, I'm not a documentarian, but I feel like that's probably the sort of feel of just like, wow, this is so real. So I would say immediately I knew that it was exploiting it. It was quickly batted away because it made the most money. You just give a little more, you give a little more. It's like, whoa, like that video got $1 million a day because I was crying in the thumbnail. Like, boo-hoo. Like,
boo-hoo, bitch. I'm boo-hooing to the bank. Fuck is you talking about?
In terms of oversharing and vlogging through my divorce, I think that I accidentally gamified me finding things out in real life for other people. Like it almost felt like a murder mystery party for people of like, oh, she's finding out things that she doesn't know yet. I bet we can also find out things. And I learned so much of what I didn't know that was going on in my own life by people just being internet sleuths and then like sending me screenshots or whatever. And in some ways I'm thankful because maybe I wouldn't have ever known that. And it's like helping to put puzzle pieces in the puzzle that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But in other ways, it feels like we're crossing so many boundaries right now. There's so many lines that have been crossed. So, yeah. A lot of women go through divorces in their 20s, but nobody feels like they know anyone else that has. And that was a recurring theme that I saw in my comments and my DMs is people were like, I am 24 and I'm going through a divorce and I feel so ashamed and so alone, and watching you navigate it makes me feel like somebody else gets it.
Well, I explored dating, you know, because everybody seems to be interested in that and how, you know, bad it goes. So then I'm filming everything like, oh my goodness, look how he eats and how he snores, you know. Well, I lost a husband because of it, because I'm just vlogging about my life, and I'm thinking we're gonna have a kid, but then it never happened, and then I had to do IVF, and I didn't know the story was gonna go so long, so I already started talking about it, and then we had to get a surrogate, and then it's been more than a year, and then it turned into a series, and then I'm like, okay, we have a baby, that's great, and he's gone, you know, because I was filming everything. That was the most important thing, and I thought, like, he's cool, we cool, you know, I thought, but, so I do feel like, wow, you know, I have my daughter, but I probably would have everything if I hadn't put it all out there.
Wow, that's powerful.
Thanks for sharing that.
So the
What they
next
said,
husband, come on.
that's the law of what? Equivalent exchange? That's what they be saying, right? Something like that, right? I mean, you gotta, something, right? You gotta lose something to get something, you know? Or if you're gonna invest time in something else, that's time that you don't invest somewhere else. You know, if you're gonna be, right, if you are a 10 out of 10 husband, you cannot be a 10 out of 10 businessman. It's just not possible. Right? So it's like, what do I want, right? Realistically, what's possible, right? You can say, you can be a right? If you have, let's say the irrelevant things in life. You have friendships, right? You have finances. You have not only finances, but also passions. And, you know, sometimes it's interchangeable, but not necessarily, right? Then you have spiritual life, you know? And then you have family, right? So let's say you have those 5 categories, right? You can't be a 10 out of 10 as a friend, finances, passions, spiritual life, and family. You can't be a 10 out of 10 in all of them. So you got to choose. You say, okay, how many points can I allocate to all of them, right? And I guess there is some delegation, I guess, that can be at play as it pertains to potentially all of them, right? You can delegate some things with family, I assume, and friendships and all of that. So I guess being able to properly delegate certain things, but, you know, you can't delegate your spirituality, I guess. I don't know. Maybe in some way that you can. Like, that's like listening to a pastor preach and you know, they've broken down the Bible, and so you don't have to, you know, and certain things like that. But you got to really decide, like, okay, what am I going to invest the most things into? Like, you know, that's why most people are just shitty friends, because it's just like, dog, I love you to life, brother, but it's just like, bro, I'm trying to keep up with my girl. I'm trying to keep up with my family, my dukes, and I'm a terrible family member as well to most. Like, I'm the family member typically that you call when you need something, and that's really it. Like, if you want to just hang out, I'm just like, I don't want to hang out, but it's just like, I can't really do it. But if you need something, I can do it. Whatever. You know, spiritual life, you know, how often are you praying? How often are you reading your word? You know, but I would say that whatever thing you pour into that's going to pour into other things, I guess that's what you would want to do. And I would like to think spirituality is up there. Like, if I'm praying, God, please help me, I gotta think like God gonna give me some answers in some areas that's gonna shorten the process, and, you know, open some doors for me, and, you know, whatever. But you can't be a 10 out of 10 in every single thing.
That's powerful.
Thanks for sharing that.
So the ex-husband, come on. So after posting everything of my life and what was going on, how this didn't work, how that didn't work, how, you know, then we had to find somebody to carry the child. I think overall it was, he said, and I've never said this, he said that I castrated him. So I knew it was pretty much done there. I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. I look back and I'm thinking, I'm a great person. I'm wonderful. I'm kind. I have a good heart.
That's not enough.
Why would you leave me? Obviously, it's him.
That's
it's
not
his
enough.
fault. You know, you want to leave. You're not talking. You shut down. That's you. I'm talking. Boy, am I talking. I'm telling everybody.
I'm telling everything.
You told everybody.
Everything.
Oh, he's got uncles. He's got aunties. He's got sisters. He's got brothers. You know, and I'm not taking into account that people are like, well, look at what your wife is putting out there. I'm like, forget them, because I'd already been through that. He had Glozell with the green lipstick. He didn't have Glozell without the green lipstick. That person didn't even exist anymore.
I feel like it never used to feel like I was exploiting myself because I wanted to. Like, the first 2 years I did TikTok, I posted 4 story times a day just because I had so many like insane like
Damn,
TMI
bitch.
stories that I had to tell, but I loved doing it.
Nigga,
But
I'm not working hard enough, bro. Motherfuckers is posting 4 times a day, bro. When the last time I posted on TikTok?
In like TMI stories that I had to tell, but I loved doing it. But I feel like recently, this is TMI, but I do OnlyFans, and I bought a house a couple of years ago that I could afford at the time.
Wait, what?
No, I do.
And you got a fiance?
I do.
Is he in Like, you
He's
show
in some
your
of it.
feet?
He's in some of it. I don't show my feet. Well, I guess I do, but
He's in some of it. Please ask questions for us, cause what the fuck going on? What you mean? Who in the other? You know what I mean? Who in the other? Which one of the niggas is in the? Time out. I need a full timeout. I need a full.
he's in some of it. He's in some of it. I don't show my feet. Well, I guess I do, but I started it a few years ago, and I bought the house a couple of years ago, and I was making a lot from it, and I feel like it's declined quite a bit, like my income on OnlyFans, because of the place in life that I'm at right now. I'm no longer like psycho and like going out drinking all the time, and like I'm at home with my fiance and like cooking, and I just feel like that sort of content doesn't direct to OnlyFans, so I don't make as much money. So I feel like recently I feel like I'm exploiting myself more because I'm talking about things that I don't really want to talk about, and I'm just like grasping at straws and like telling all these stories that I never wanted to even tell. And now I'm at the point where I have no secrets. And I'm like, so like a couple of weeks ago, I was like trying to be crazy again, like just to direct traffic to my OnlyFans, because that's the only content that does that. So I was like just exploiting myself in ways, like I was going out and getting really drunk with like my friends and like filming things that I wouldn't normally film for TikTok just to do that. And it made me feel so icky because that's just not who I am anymore. So I stopped doing that recently. But then the other day I told this story that I never was planning on talking about. I put it behind a paywall, so I'm not gonna talk about it now because it will make me sob, but like I never wanted to talk about that, and I felt like I had to. So now I just feel,
Is it still up?
yeah.
It's not.
Is it still up, bro? These niggas is funny as shit, bro.
Too late to delete it, is that?
No, but I mean, it's out there now. People typed it all out, put it on Reddit, and all the things.
Confused to what
Nah, Reddit be flocking, bro. I need to, my mind.
Tara,
OnlyFans is.
Maybe? Do you know what it is?
I thought I did, but you said when I'm talking and I'm videoing and I'm drinking, like.
Oh, no, I just mean like the videos that I make on TikTok will direct traffic to my OnlyFans.
Got it.
I had a pet bird, and this is like really like deep to me. Like I love animals, I'm vegan, I have pets, and I had a pet bird for a while, and
Something telling me she doing something with that bird. I don't know. Something is telling me. Something is telling me she was doing something with that bird. Something inappropriate. She may not have been fucking that bird, but I feel like, you know what I mean? And no judgment. I'm just saying that's what I feel like.
he was in a lot of my content, and so a lot of people like knew him. His name was Marty, and it got to a point, and like it's hard for people to understand who have never owned a bird before, but they're very like complex creatures, and you have to be like a very special type of person to own a bird. And I was not that person, and I tried for so long to make it work, but it was getting to the point where I would literally like walk the streets all day long just so I wouldn't have to be home, because he caused me like so much overwhelming anxiety and panic attacks and like just straight up
What did he
distress
do?
to the point where I rehomed him to my dad, but I can't see him anymore because birds are just so connected with their owners. I felt like such an awful person for doing that, and I'm so like humiliated and ashamed by it. And I was never gonna talk about it. People ask me all the time, like that's the question I get overwhelmingly every day, like where's Marty, where's Marty, where's Marty? And I was never gonna talk about it because I'm so embarrassed by it. But I feel like it's gotten to the point where I'm like trying to like pay my mortgage because I built this like house off of my OnlyFans, whatever, that like I felt like I had to talk about it finally, and I didn't want to. So, well, I've like never.
Talk to you because I'm like, you trying to pay your mortgage,
It's
but
crazy,
you got
yes.
a fiance.
Yeah.
You're not paying.
We split it, but it's like a crazy mortgage because I built it based off of what I was making at the time, like an idiot, and I'm not making that.
See, you gotta live below your means, bruh. That's real shit, bruh. If you peaking and you making $60,000 a month, bruh, ain't no way you should be. Your expenses should be fucking $52,000 a month. It's just like, even if you can, like, that's just unnecessary. Shouldn't do it.
Anymore.
But you
So-
have a fiance.
Yeah, but he has like a normal job, so, and it's like a really big mortgage.
Where's my close-up camera? What?
Being an
Girl, I know you're not judging. You ain't got no husband, bruh.
And it fulfills me like so much. And I grew up watching like Jenna Marbles, Shane Dawson, Tana Mojo, and like they just like helped me.
She fucking that parrot, bro. She fucking that bird. I don't know. Sun ain't right, bro. I just feel like she fucking that bird. In my opinion.
So much, like escape from my life, and like I loved being in fandoms and being a fangirl for so many different things. So now that I get to do that for people, that fulfills me like so much, and I love it, and it makes me see myself so differently. Like I feel like I was very insecure growing up as a kid, as a teenager. Like I didn't have much confidence in myself, and now I do. And I feel like it's from like, I feel like I'm good at something and I'm helping people. So
social media has given me like definitely a sense of ambition of not only what I can do with social media, but what I can do from it, or where I can take like a different field if I want to go into some sort of like I studied communications in college, and I think that combined with social media experience has given me this kind of like, I've kind of looked up and looked at other career options, and I'm like, whoa, like there's this whole world out there. Whereas when I was 16, going viral for the first time, I wasn't thinking long term at all, and I wasn't thinking about doing social media as a career, but I'm so glad that it's lasted over 5 years at this point, and that I'm kind of like excited for the next step and excited for this next stepping stone. But I think maybe on the negative side, I'm sure maybe some of us do, some of us don't experience this. I think social media has definitely made me more critical of my appearance, or maybe like what outfit I'm putting on, or my outward presentation to the world if I'm choosing to film that day, because it matters and it reflects in, like video performance sometimes, like how put together the person looks. But I think there's positives and negatives of how social media has changed the way I viewed myself.
Live by the applause, die by the booze.
Period.
That's why I'm on this line. I felt it on both scales of it, where it's like, it made me feel like, came from really not being anyone, like was not popular in school, like never really fit in, and then all of a sudden all these people are like, you're awesome, you're funny, you're hot, you're cool, like people are cutting their hair like you, like they're coming to your tour stops, like it's this amazing feeling. But then it's also like, the people who are making fun of the way you look, or like I dealt a lot, I'm sure a lot of people on social media and not, like we're all struggling with our body image. Like I started getting into, fillers and Botox and stuff, and that like really messed with my mind. Like there were some times where I was looking in the mirror and I was like getting freaked out because I didn't recognize myself, because like fillers always migrating, like the Botox starts with your eyebrows here and then it's here, and it's like every single day I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, who is this person? Then I'm like disgusting, I'm hideous. At one point I was like extremely like small, and I didn't even realize it until looking back. I'm like, oh, I was like sick. Like I was like very, very unwell. I guess to go back to that prompt about like being addicted to what people's opinions or validation, I think it was, I would consider myself like a recovering addict, where like any other recovery, it's like, this is something I could easily fall back into.
Sometimes I think about how I see myself from like a character, like my character, less than I see myself visually. And I look at myself as I was as a kid, and I'm like, oh, she was so confident and cute and like just did not care. Like I would wear bedazzled ties to school, and I would outgrow my jeans too fast and cut off the bottoms and make them jean leg warmers. And I was like, I don't care, like say whatever about me. But I think I lost a lot of the confidence in myself through posting myself online, because I start to question if people are seeing things in me that I'm blind to about myself. So if somebody gives me a criticism that is about my character, I want to be self-aware. And so then I start to wonder, oh, are they seeing something that I'm just not aware of that I do? Like something about my privilege, or the way I speak to my loved ones, or do I fall in love too easily, or whatever. And I think that it makes my awareness of myself feel very blurry, because I'm always taking everything with whatever the opposite of a grain of salt is. Like I'm always giving everything
The whole shaker.
Yes. I'm giving them the whole shaker. I'm like
I've never heard
actually
that
taking
before.
it in and assessing it because I want to be self-aware. And I think that that's ruined my own confidence in my character. Logically, I understand that so many more people are nice than mean, but it's just like my brain and heart latches on to the one mean comment. And I think it is a desire to like defend myself or to understand why. Like when someone's nice, it's just, oh, that's so kind. And then there's nothing else to really process about that. But when someone is more critical or negative,
I think for me personally, in the small amount of comments that I've gotten, I feel like the comments that are overtly like mean, just like unnecessary, like those don't affect me. But the ones that be like, hey man, not trying to be mean, but this sucks. Cause I'm like, okay, that's just like, that's so genuine though. Like, nah, he really, like, he's like, he don't seem like a troll. He just seemed like, yo, like this shit's not good. Where somebody be like, yo, like, your whole channel sucks and you're stupid and, you know, you're fat and ugly. It's just like, oh, okay, you got it. It's like, hey, man, like, not trying to be mean or anything, but this just is not good content, bro. It's like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like, it hits a little different.
Process about that. But when someone is more critical or negative, there is more that my brain wants to unpack. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? Are they projecting something onto me? And I just feel myself kind of marinating on that for longer than I should.
When you've been up, you know that you can get up again. And when you start to move up again, some of the people who were friends down here, they mad at you because they never been up there, so they don't know that, you know, it's just like, you can't win. When they stay lonely at the top, I'm like, got it. Got it, understand.
Advice I would give to my younger self is don't place so much weight in what people think about you on the internet. They don't know you in person. They never will know you in person. All that matters is...
You know, when I really think about it, that's so true, because it's just like, I'm actually putting it together, like, in a real way. Like, if someone's criticizing me on the internet, they're criticizing the art that I'm putting out. It could be the editing. It could be the thing I'm saying to try to be funny. It could be the take that I have. You know, it could be my lighting, whatever. But that's like saying, hey, when you play basketball, make sure you tuck in the elbow. Like, if somebody's giving you tips, like, hey, when you shoot, you know, make sure there's a gap, or, you know, tuck in the elbow, you're not going to be like, oh my gosh. Like, you're not going to get a self-esteem. You're not going to feel like your self-esteem took a hit. But with this shit, it feels like that. But at the end of the day, it's really an art. Like, I don't just go around like reacting to shit. I just don't, like, you know what I mean? It's like an art. Like, this is like how I'm trying to edit, and, you know, whatever, thumbnails and things like that. Or like if I'm playing football and somebody's critiquing my 3-point stance, hey, I think the 3-point stance is not good. The 4-point stance, I think your IQ of the game is not that great. You need to go and watch more film, right? Somebody saying, hey, your content is not good. Why do I feel personally attacked? It doesn't make any sense, right? But I guess some of it is personality. You know what I mean? Like, to an extent, like, you're critiquing parts of my personality, you know? So I guess it's different. It's like, hey, I think that if somebody came up to me and was like, hey, like, I think you be doing too much, you gotta chill. You know, like, I see what you're trying to do and I get it, but I think you're doing a little bit too much. I think it would be, you know, in your benefit to chill, you know, whatever. I don't know.
They never will know you in person. All that matters is what your close friends and family think about you.
Be yourself, be kind, be loving. Like, this other stuff, it's not ever going to make anyone happy. Like, that's why you see so many stories of celebrities who are killing themselves, and we still don't get it. Like, this isn't going to make us happy. Achieving things in the world, like, is great and fun, but ultimately it's not gonna make you happy. So every movement where you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna bend my morals a little bit on this. I'm gonna do something I'm not really comfortable with. You're just like kind of giving.
It's not gonna make you happy. I think the only reason that people get depressed is because they put, not that it's not like good or whatever, but I think people put more on it than what it actually is worth. Right? So my perspective on like girls and stuff like that, and like, you know, there's this whole red pill thing, and, you know, RSD and like pickup and, you know, all these things, right? And it's like, once you do get to the point where you have good success in that area and you are able to pick up women how you want and you are getting the women that you want, it's like, if you thought that that was the only thing to life, you're gonna be fucking sad as fuck. But if you realize it and say, no, like, this is just a part of life that I want to achieve, and it's more so like the lack of it being there is more hurtful than it actually being there. It's like, it's almost like, as it pertains to women, it's not like the actual process. Once you've gotten over the fallacy of like, oh my gosh, this is so fun, it's so new. Once you've gotten over that, and it's something that you do consistently, it's not really all that fun. It's more so like, this is a small part, which is kind of, you know, fun in the moment, but it's more hurtful when it's not there than it is pleasing when it is there. It's kind of like food, you know, like when you don't have food, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, and after you eat, you're like, Okay? It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I ate. Goodness, gee, like, oh man. It's like, no, the absence of it is more heavy than the presence of it being there. So I think similar to success, it's like, yo, I want to be successful. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to the, you know, with the whatever and whatever success looks like. And once you get it, it's like, okay, like, it's not really all that. And it's like, that's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's life. Like, yeah, the money is great. And once you get over, like, what it feels to be used to having money, it's like, you know, it's like not having it feels way worse than the good feeling of actually having it, or way more intense, or way more, you know, whatever. And so I think that's the problem. Like, people think that once you get these things, that's gonna be your life. Like, that's the thing, right? A lot of people think that with girls too. Like, once I get this, my wife, it's like, yes, it's just like brother in Christ. Once I get these girls or whatever, it's just like brother, you're losing it. So I think it's the same thing. Like, it's like you overvalue something, right? You paid too much for it, whatever it is. Like, you over expected it. It's just like, damn, like, this shit really not all that I thought it was gonna be. But it's good though. Like, being able to have a thriving social life is good. Being able to thrive in your finances is good. Being able to, you know, do what it is that you know, getting in great shape is good, right? But it's not like, just don't overvalue it, because that's when shit goes south.